Welcome to the June 19th, 2019 meeting of the Fall River Sewer Commission. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Very good. Okay, we all have our agenda that was sent to us.
Just call the roll. Yep. President Alameda.
Present.
Member Souza.
Here.
Member Yitkin.
Present.
Member Bernier is absent.
Okay, thank you. This takes us to the first item on the agenda, which is citizens' input. Is there anybody planned here? No. Okay, that'll take us to item number 2, minutes of the previous meeting of May 30th, 2019. As usually the case, we've been sent the minutes of the previous meeting. I've had the opportunity to run through them. Anybody have any questions or want to make any comments or changes to it? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting held on May 30th, 2019.
Make a motion. The second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that takes us to item number 4,
3.
the wastewater treatment contract number 1 GC award. What are we talking?
So,
This is a big one.
correct. This is first of 5 contracts that we plan on, improvement contracts down at the wastewater treatment plant that we plan on doing. We went out to bid for this. This was, it was a pretty lengthy, not only design to come up to this project, but also bid process following the new Chapter 149 guidelines for any project over $10 million. Through that process, the low bidder was West Construction Corp. Their total base bid was in the amount of $18,965,240. And then they had an alternate bid, so total base bid plus alternate was $20,565,240. At the current time, we are not we're not planning on moving forward with the alternate. So through CDM's evaluation, we've come up with a recommendation to award the base bid to West Construction in the amount of $18,965,240. We have Nancy Beaton and Robert Witowski here from CDM Smith. They were our design engineers. They're also seeing us through on the they saw us through on the bidding process of this, and they'll also be staying on board for construction management and providing us the resident engineer services. So they have a presentation, just what's included in this contract one, which we can let them run through.
Before you get going, can I just ask a question? What was the purpose of doing an add alternate 1?
So add alternate 1 was cleaning out and inspections and minor repairs within our reactors, tank 1, 3, and 4. So 2 is offline currently. We're going to be rehabbing the reactors, the mixers, and everything within reactor 2. The add alternate we had in there just to try to get feelers out there to see if we could get a good price. The way that the bids came in, they were higher than anticipated based on the estimate, and we just felt at this time it wasn't pertinent to move forward with that additional cost to do those other 3 reactors.
So is the 18 almost $19 million bid, is that extremely way out of line to what the projected cost of that was?
We had done a cost estimate on an earlier set of the documents, and that estimate came out to be about $16.9 million. But since that estimate had been done, there were some additions made to the project, some additional electrical work, some site security work, some more work with the aeration tanks. We never did a final estimate with the stuff that was added to it, but that was roughly $1 million. That would be 16.9 to 17.9. So the comparative difference would be about $1 million between our estimate and the actual bid price.
Correct. Okay.
And again,
Okay. Okay. West Construction Corporation. They've done stuff at the plant, haven't they? Was it Westcott or West?
Westcott.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
Westcott, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not Wisconsin.
All right, okay.
Westcott is now out of business. West has not worked at the wastewater plant. They have worked at the drinking water plant. In 2004, they did a $4.5 million upgrade to the drinking water plant. Did a very good job. They went to work.
yeah, that was that drinking water plant.
I wasn't sure. I know the name Westcott came and I had a kind of a bad taste in my mouth.
So Westcott would be good, the 1A contract for $13.5 million in 1997 to 2000. And Westcott was the original builder of the plant in 1979 to 80.
Right.
However, they changed dramatically for that time, and they're currently out of business.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
By putting off this additional add-on and doing it at a later time, is it gonna cost more than the $2 million approximately? Or is it something that they could have done in the interim?
I don't think we can answer that, but the work for those three reactors are functioning, they're working now.
Mhm.
Given that we were gonna have the contract at rehabbing one of the reactors and mobilized for that, it made sense to clean out and inspect the other three. In the future, we may, in 5, probably more like 10 years, we may have to
Okay.
fully rehab those tanks in a different manner. So given the high price of the alternate, it didn't make sense to do that work right now. Those three reactors are working. They will last fully cleaned out in the CSO 1B contract in 1997 to 99.
Okay.
So it would have been a good idea to clean them out, but they're functioning. Had the numbers been lower, we would have went forward, but the number for that alternate was high. So it's not going to hurt us from a maintenance practicality. It would be a good idea, but it's not going to hurt us.
All right, thank you.
I got just one more question for you, Mr. Hartoski. The $18 million estimate that you just talked about, how old was that with respect to this bid that came in?
Was that adjusted for the current AENR?
Mhm.
We're still at 60% design.
60% design, so that would have been January timeframe.
January of this
This
year?
year.
All right, so it was in that close time frame. Okay. Neil, you have any other questions before they proceed with their presentation?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Be my guest.
All right, this is just short and sweet, just give you an idea what's in contract one. And just for some background, the plant was originally a primary treatment plant built back in the 1940s. And what's now the gravity thickeners, and a lot of the primary equipment over in this side of the plant, and a small piece of maintenance garage were all part of that original construction. 79, you did your secondary upgrade, which is most of what you see there today. In the late 1990s, the preliminary treatment was done, and the CSO tunnel came in. And back in 2018, we did a facilities plan that reviewed all of these facilities, looked at the functionality of them, made recommendations for the future. And this contract one is the start of those recommendations. So this figure here is showing kind of the phasing we saw for the rehabilitation of the plant. What you see in the red, you've got the incinerator building demolition here. And then the rest of the spaghetti in red in this little red box you see here is a new electrical service and distribution throughout the plant. And that's all this contract.
So the removal of the incinerator is under this contract?
Yes, yep. The incinerator building itself, we found some structural problems with it, and so the decision was made to bring that building down, and then for moving forward, you'll build a new building to suit.
All right, so you're gonna demolish, take out the incinerator, demolish the building that's there and
Right, the old 1940s
build up
part of the
again
building,
after?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
So essentially, that's half of the dewatering.
Right, so the dewatering building with the press is this down right below it,
Right.
but the old 1940s original incinerator building and the air pollution control part of it that was added onto it, that's all coming down, and then the next contract will be rebuilding in that location. So the rest of the plant rehab, we were kind of phasing by process type. So contract 2 would be the rehab of all the solids handling part of the plant, as well as the more administrative parts of the plant. And then that would be followed by the primaries, secondary, and then lastly, the nitrogen removal whenever that's required by your permit. Right now, it's not required, but at some point, you're likely to have a nitrogen limit, and you'll have to make some process changes at that point.
So I know you're familiar, but for the public, the green area is all of the sludge processing and administrative area for contract 2.
Right.
The blue area is the primary and disinfection area. The purple area is
Is
secondary
secondary.
biological treatment. Then the yellow area across the street is a land that we own that has been held for the potential nitrogen removal if and when mandated by the permit.
Okay, so,
So that's just
the
a
20,
quick
so this
snapshot.
particular contract we're looking at of almost $19 million centers strictly around the red area. Is that what you're telling me?
And if I
Yeah,
may add
this
to
building
that,
and all the red spaghetti that's going all through the
it-
plant.
It's plant-wide electrical upgrades, conduits, new large conduits,
Right.
electrical conduits
Yeah.
throughout the plant to replace everything that's more than 20 years old. And because under chapter, 149, we have to file sub-bids, and the electrical work is one of the disciplines that has to be bid separately, and it's incorporated within this contract. That bid itself was $7 million. So is that spaghetti that goes around the plant is $7 million out of the $18.9 million.
Yeah. Yeah,
For the
So there's
electrical.
significant
Just for the
plant-wide
electrical.
upgrades.
and they're massive duct banks, and they're providing new electrical service for your existing plant, as well as making plans for future electrical needs, and also then for full SCADA fiber optic networks. So they're massive duct banks.
What size service is that gonna be?
I don't know what the total connected load is. Sorry.
A lot of that, I'm assuming is underground?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
would imagine.
these are all over the plant. It's, we classically use like 4-inch conduits.
Right.
Mhm.
And these duct banks are, a lot of them have like 12 across, 5 down.
Yeah, rises
So
with
it'd be like
troughs.
60,
Yeah.
conduits in a large concrete duct bank
Mhm.
moving all around the plant.
Yeah,
Right, so-
okay. How
It's
it-
gonna be interesting how you run parallel, huh?
Yeah,
How do you run parallel with the process?
Interesting.
Excuse me?
We don't want it to be too interesting.
Yeah.
Boring is good.
Okay, thank you.
So these are the key components. Like I said, the incinerator building is being demolished. The dewatering building is being modified to have a new boiler room, because the existing boiler room for the dewatering building, as well as the administration building, is currently in the incinerator building that's coming down. So we're building a new boiler room, and we're making enhancements to the electrical room within the dewatering building. There's some critical maintenance that needs to be done with the oxygenation system within the PSA building and the oxygenation tanks. Like I said, the new site electrical service and generator, and concurrent with that will be a new site fiber optic network, some site security additions, and a temporary operator's workspace and control room, because those features are now in the dewatering room where the boiler room's going, as well as in the incinerator building. So we're giving them a new modular building for the operators to live while we're doing both this contract and the next one.
Excuse me, this boiler room you're talking about, what are we looking at, a package boiler in there or something? Anybody know? If it's-
No, so
There's-
so it's a fully designed, it's
Right.
actually, there's three boilers to operate the building. So the boilers operate the dewatering facility. They're sized to operate the new dewatering facility that's going to be constructed during contract 2. They also provide the heat to the administration building, and they do the maintenance garage as well. So they're fairly good sized boilers. And there's
So
gonna be
were they
three in
producing
parallel.
steam,
No, hot water.
hot water? Okay.
And the existing boilers are from 1979 construction.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and so the operators are getting a temporary workspace that'll be their home probably for the next 5 years until we complete contract 1 as well as contract 2. They'll have at the end of contract 2, they'll have new space within the dewatering complex. But for now, they'll be in a temporary building. And then we've also designated an area for the engineer's field trailer and the contractor's trailers within that adjacent parcel right there by the entrance to the plant, where there was a residence there prior.
Yeah.
And also we
1940.
recently
It's on the right going down,
purchased-
Terry, on the right?
Yeah, so if you're heading south on Bay Street into our entrance, the parcel just before that, that used to be 1945 Bay Street. There was a house burned down,
Yeah.
knocked down. We bought that lot and we're gonna use that temporarily for.
Yeah,
the
Just
contract.
prior to Bay Village, right?
Well, across the
Right
street.
across the
on our
street.
Yeah,
side.
same side as Bay Village,
Yeah.
though.
Across the street.
Across the
Bay
street.
Village.
Same side as the
Just-
plant.
Same
Just
side
before
as
you
the
get to the
plant.
plant.
Oh, I
entrance.
thought
Yeah.
you said on the other side of the street.
Didn't we use that area at one point in time for past construction site?
No, we just acquired it in the last
Did you?
7 months.
Yeah, the other
Right.
one on the other side of, next to Bay Village,
The one you
we've
may be
used.
thinking of is
I'm
the
thinking of
area in
Fl-
yellow.
Flint Street,
This
we
is the
were-
laydown area for the tunnel contractor.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm
So
thinking.
you're thinking of where the tree farm is
Right,
now.
right,
the
right.
Tunnel construction, that was all the construction trailers.
Yeah.
That's on the same side as Bay Village at the corner of
State.
State and Bay.
Okay,
But that's the tree farm now.
very good.
So
So what's the timetable on this?
it's a 2-year construction period,
Excuse me?
2 years.
When do you think you're gonna stop?
As soon as we can get that contract signed.
We
Really?
expect.
Everything's ready to go?
Yeah, we expect the contractor to mobilize pretty quickly to the
Yeah.
site and to start to see things. So through the contract, we have multiple mile points that he needs to meet throughout it, and substantial completions for different portions of the contract laid out in there. So he has to meet those different milestones throughout the contract. So he has to get rolling pretty quickly. Some of the first things that you'd end up seeing probably done in the contract is that lot, as she was saying, where the engineer's trailer is gonna be set up. Contractor will mobilize to there, start to set up the new control room area. Those are some key things that need to be done right off the bat, so we can start to get into some of the other areas.
I spoke with the contractor this morning, he's very motivated to get going.
Yeah.
Right away. He goes, when do you think this will be signed?
Yeah.
They're hungry.
On this demolition of the
Incinerator.
incinerator building, are we anticipating any remediation or anything else of asbestos
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that?
Yeah.
There, in one of those boxes is 6 different volumes that make up the whole contract spec, and there's one complete volume dedicated to identification of materials and stuff that we
Okay.
should anticipate. So we try to identify, changes could occur, but we did the best we could to identify all the different materials, hazardous materials that they may encounter. That way they could incorporate it into the base bid.
Yeah,
And there's asbestos throughout, and they're only having to remediate what they need to get the work done. We're not having them go through the whole plant or even all of the buildings, but for just where they're working. But it's in, you know, the white panels at the top of the buildings and caulking and throughout.
Okay. Yeah, because as you say, you know, all it takes is a phone call from somebody saying something ain't appear to be right, and you got people coming down on you left and right, and it then becomes a hassle, so.
Yeah.
You may,
We're aware that the materials are there, it's in the contract, the contract has.
yeah, good, all right,
Yeah.
very good.
So I don't know whether you wanna go through all of this, but certainly you can look at the presentation slides, and it kinda outlines what's going on in each building, but the incinerator building is essentially coming down, but we're making sure that there's access provided so that the plant can maintain operations as it does now, including all the solids transport and everything else.
For the public, can you just point
Sure.
to the incinerator building?
So the incinerator building is this half of the building, this is the back side. This is stack from the incinerator. And the dewatering building is on this side here. This is where they load the sludge trucks to take the sludge off the property. This then is a view from the front. So the incinerator building coming down is on the right, and the dewatering building for Maine is on the left here.
Terry, the conveyors are gone already, right? The old conveyors that used to dump the sludge into the,
Right
Oh,
there.
well,
They're still in the back.
they're still in the back?
They've been
They're still
inoperable
there?
for years.
Right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that we had taken them out a long time, so those are definitely gone.
Yes.
I
It
got
will
it.
be, yes.
Yeah, all right, good for scrap.
Unless you wanna put them in a museum.
I know. Might get, I wonder if, call it junkie or something, and get some scrap pricing on it. All right,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a natural question, like, is there any salvage value for any of these materials? Well, the answer to that is, as we have in previous contracts, and as we always recommend, the contractors know best how to get salvage value out of it. Some of the stuff is costly to dispose of, some of it may have a salvage value, so any salvage value is built into the price of their, they would use that to cut their price if in fact they thought there was any value to anything that was
All right,
being
okay.
removed.
All right,
Yeah.
gotcha.
You wanna thumb through the rest of these, or?
Yeah, why don't you
Yeah.
go quickly for the
Okay.
sake of public.
So the dewatering building, again, we're doing some minor modifications here. This is the existing control room, which will be transformed into the boiler room. Then this electrical room will have some modifications done to it as well. And then the lower part of the dewatering building that's above these two parts of the dewatering building, that roof is being replaced. Oxygenation system maintenance, we're replacing one of the compressors
Big job.
that provides the
Really?
oxygenation tanks. This is the unit being replaced. There's some structural repairs you can see on the floor here. The floor needs some repair. We're replacing motor control center number 6 that services the aerators for the oxygenation tanks. The aerators are underneath these white square structures. The motor control center needs some serious help. It's got some hazardous pieces to it that we don't want the contractor really messing with at this point, so we're replacing the motor control center.
But that area right there it's operational today, is it not?
Yes, that was where we.
3 out of 4. 3 out of 4 of these tanks. There's 2 tanks here and 2 over here.
Okay.
3 out of 4
So the
are
one tank
operational.
that is inoperational is in the base contract to be addressed. The 3 activated sludge tanks that are operational is what was in alternative number 1, to clean, inspect, and make minor repairs. But because they're operational, and because the ad alternative is so high, that's why they're not included.
So oxygenation tank number 2, we are cleaning, repairing, and reactivating, putting it back in service. And then the other 3 tanks, we're going to pull the aerators, do some inspection of the aerators themselves, make sure they're in good operating condition, and put them back, and that's all we're doing on those 3 tanks. So the new electrical service and generator, what you saw in red on the other figure, you can see in black here, and it's just the distribution throughout all the plant.
It's huge.
The new generator is going up here by the intermediate pump station. You got a new switchgear and transformer in this area, but it comes in from State Ave here and then distributes throughout the plant from there. And it's gonna connect then to all the existing motor control centers and provide new service for the plant, and it'll then serve you throughout the rehab and the expansion of the plant as you move forward. Similarly, we've got a communication network, and they're following side by side with the electrical. The duct banks, they'll have, some conduits will be electrical, some will be signal, and they're all kind of weaving around your plant. But it's gonna provide a fiber optic network for SCADA, and as you rehab each process, you're gonna have more and more instruments that'll join in with that network, and you'll have that information then readily available to the operators. Site security, we're doing a number of things. The fencing, as you can see, is kind of haphazard, there's gaps in it. We're replacing sections of fence, so you're gonna have a 6-foot fence with barbed wire kind of all around the plant. We're putting automated gates in at the main entrance, at the State Ave entrance, and also at the railroad right-of-way, kind of in the middle of the plant here. You're gonna have key card access at the main gates. And then we're adding security cameras at the main gates, at the railroad tracks, and a couple other key locations within the plant where they wanna be able to see what's going on.
And it's important for us, as you know now, the gates are generally open, anybody can come in and out, and nowadays we just have to increase the security and control.
Absolutely, that's definitely a plus.
Yep.
doing that.
And again, this system's being implemented, that it'll be expandable as you go through and rehab each of the processes. You can add more and more pieces to the system.
Where will the security's cameras feed to?
Yeah.
Where will it be located?
They'll be able to view the cameras from the control room. The
Okay,
operators will.
okay, it's all gonna be in the control room?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Right.
ultimately in the operator's control room, they'll have all of the SCADA screens, which we have some now, but the information is slow coming to us because the network's getting overloaded. The new network, they'll have all of the SCADA screens to see everything that's happening in the plants, out in the pump stations, and the CSO system, and that main operator will be able to view that, and will also be able to view the security cameras.
Yep.
Do you think it's of any value for the site manager to have in his office some console that would also show just what's taking place? Not for all of it, but for, important places like, what's coming into the site and so forth and so on.
Yeah, as we develop the system, I think the plan is, so we're gonna have a central server for all the security systems. So we're planning with this upgrade not only to do security cameras, but also control access. So key fobs, pretty much to access the gates, access doors in the facility, access some of our remote buildings, so the new President Ave pump station, pump in South End, we're designing all that access in there. So we'll have a central server that all that information goes to, then we'd be able to branch out either through the web or through a secure network to different areas. So having a, for the site manager to be able to view all that would be definitely doable.
Yeah, so which we started, for example, in the water department, we on our iPads can view from here the SCADA at the water treatment plant to see what the status of all operations are.
Okay.
So, but
That'd be
it's
good.
secure, obviously, we don't want looking into that. But yes, there will be access for authorized people to view all this information.
Okay.
This last slide is just showing the location of that temporary operators building. So there's a piece of lawned area here. This is the existing administration building, dewatering building, incinerator building coming down. This is oxygenation tanks here. And then this lawned area here, we're gonna put a modular building. They'll have the space for the operators, and there'll be, office area, control room, and
Okay.
for them there. And that'll be their home for the next 5 years.
2 years this is gonna take, huh?
2 years.
I think we better get up and running pretty quick.
730 days.
Right. So, that's what this contract is providing you.
All right, this is the first leg of 5, Terry?
So So in the-
Totaling, what, 120?
No, so included, currently we have $126.8 million authorized for 7 years of construction. That includes the pump station replacements, CSO project, flood control projects. So out of this funding authorization, we're hoping to do this contract 1 and contract number 2. So those were the only 2 that were in this initial funding authorization over the 7-year construction
Okay.
period that we have negotiated with the EPA. The intent is, once over 7 years, we expend that $126.8 million in all the projects that we've selected. At that point, we have to sit down, take a breather, meet with EPA, meet with you, and have public discussions on what the next steps are going to be to continue to comply with the multiple federal and state regulations that are before us.
Okay.
I won't be here,
Yeah, but we'll be thinking of you.
I'll watch on TV.
All right.
Very good.
Anybody have any questions,
Nope.
comments? I guess we're ready to fly.
We would need a motion for the vote of the base bid of $18,965,240 for wastewater contract number 1.
To West Construction Corporation, correct?
Yep.
Anybody want to make the motion?
Make a motion, to accept the bid as $18,965,240 for West Construction for the commencement of the sewer treatment facility.
Anyone want to second that?
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye. All
Aye.
opposed, none. So be it. Good luck. Okay, that takes us to Pierce Street land purchase. I saw this and I was kind of surprised because I go by this piece of property at least 5 or 6 times a day.
So, I'll give you a little bit of the history. Up on the screen, there's 2 depictions. The one on the left is the simple GIS layout of the location, lot P314 on Pierce Street, just to the east of
Thank you.
Stetson Street. The vacant lot, the aerial photographs with the little black asterisk is just showing refill on it. So, this lot was originally owned by the homeowners here. This lot and that lot have been vacant for a long time, and if you've walked by it after a heavy rainstorm, you've probably seen the flooding. The lot floods.
Yeah. Come to think of it, you're right.
During a heavy rainstorm, you get 6, 7, 8 inches of water here, the excess floods into here, and after heavy rain periods, this is paper Farnham Street. The water actually comes out, and you can see it puddled over here in Farnham Street. So initially, I believe the owners passed away. The family estate owns the property. House has been sold. This lot was being sold to a developer for construction of a house. Several of the neighbors filed petitions, called us, that they were concerned that taking away, first concerned about the flooding issues. Secondly, they're concerned about taking away the detention or the holding area. A lot of that flooding is going to make it much worse. So initially, when the developer applied here, we're requiring a rather large drainage system. We currently have an old drainage system that comes through, so we're going to require the developer to make an extension there. That whole deal fell apart.
Do you know who it was, Terry?
Yeah, it's Tom St. Pierre was the original developer willing to go forward, but I think the sale fell through because the sellers didn't want to reduce the price based on the drainage improvements.
Mhm.
So this is the early part of the Crestbrook drainage system. It starts over at Truesdale Clinic is here, piped back in the 1800s, back through here, down Ward Street, into Garden Street, into the cemetery. As you're very well aware, the Crestbrook drainage improvements start at the end of Garden Street in the cemetery, one of the worst flooding areas we've had. So we're spending $7 million improving the drainage from the end of Garden Street all the way through the cemetery, out through David Street, down Eastern Avenue, through the President Avenue Rotary, and back going towards Highland Brook. That
Right.
project is nearing completion for September 5th. Ultimately, over time, we're gonna have to expand the upper portions of the Crestbrook drainage system, but it's not prioritized now. We're not funded and we're not ready to go on that. So to assist with relieving the current flooding problems, we opted to purchase this lot so we can keep it vacant, allow it to absorb much of the water. We'll probably plan to make some improvements, dig it out a little bit deeper so that it can help relieve some of the flooding on Pierce Street, to avoid having a conflict with a house being constructed there, making the flooding in Pierce Street worse than it is now, with people having nowhere to go, having a new homeowner with flooding issues, and having the neighbors very unhappy. So for $77,000, we opted to negotiate with the owners, buy it, we'll be able to hold it, and then many years from now, when we ultimately will have to make dramatic improvements to this upper Crestbrook system, we'll be able to use that as a detention area as part of the improvement. So we're looking for some short-term relief for the neighbors right now, and planning far ahead for when we have to expand that initial portion of the Crestbrook drainage system.
The Flanagan family still own that?
The estate of the Flanagan family.
Okay, so, all right, okay. So we're just talking about that particular lot that's circled.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with it. Yeah, and you're right, there is some flooding in front of it.
I lived on Johnson Street for 20 years, so I walked my dogs by there
Yeah,
hundreds of times.
yeah, that's a prime place for dogs to be walking to. Most
I-
of the neighbors
I
have
just pick
dogs.
up my stuff, I have a plastic bag with me. But actually, you can see when you walk by there, under the other rain, right in this section, you can see the grass forced in. You can see the flow of water that's been pushing the grass in.
Yeah.
So this portion of the drainage system is very old. Most of it functions well. This is one of the worst areas, and so we're trying to get some relief for the neighbors and plan for the future, ultimately, when that system has to be expanded.
What are you gonna do for, any security measures or anything?
It's fenced already.
Is it?
hasn't been-
Yeah.
Not fenced on the street. Is
The
it?
street side is fenced, yeah.
Yeah, actually, the
The
spot-
fence must be way in.
No, the fence is right here, because actually that spot where I said the grass kind of flows in, goes right under the fence, right there where the water flows in.
Okay, all right. I thought there was no fence there. All right.
But ultimately, if we have to put up some fence, we can do that, but I don't see the need right now, it hasn't been a problem at all. We plan to keep it generally wooded, and maybe make some.
How many square feet we're looking at, do you know?
The appraiser, that's in the package.
The appraisal was 77, oh,
77,000 is the appraisal.
right,
Yeah. So it's,
and we paid for the appraisal?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a good-sized lot.
10,965 square feet.
Excuse me?
10,009?
10,965.
It's about 100 by 100.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got the dough for this?
Yes. Assuming that you approve tonight, we'll also have to go to city council with an order for them to approve to allow the acquisition.
Okay. Anybody have any problems with this?
No, Make a motion, we accept it for $77,000.
Now, has that been agreed upon, Terry? I noticed in the literature, they were looking
Yeah.
for 82.
Yeah, it's been verbally agreed upon. I'm waiting for their lawyer to send over the agreement documentation.
Okay, all right, so I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to be sure that that was
No.
definitely the number. Okay, so you've made a motion to
Yeah,
approve
because
the...
we paid for
purchase.
the estimate, so I figured 77,000.
Neil, you got any problems with this?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, you wanna second
I'll
that
second
then?
it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you, gentlemen. I guess we want to buy a truck.
Yeah, so the next item on your agenda is the purchase of a 550 truck. It's in the amount of $136,397. This is a medium-sized, medium-duty truck, a F-550, so roughly a ton-and-a-half truck. This will be replace our existing crane truck. So down at the plant now,
Oh.
we have a
That's what it's gonna
350
be.
utility body with a smaller crane. The crane has been out of service for a while. The guys haven't used it. That truck is old. The boxes are falling apart on the truck, coming off the truck. It is.
We're gonna take that box and put it on this one?
Nope, so we're getting, it's gonna be a new full crane setup. It's gonna be a utility body with an 8,300 pound crane, hydraulic jacks off the back.
Oh, I know what you mean, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. The doors on the side,
Yep,
yeah.
utility
okay,
body
like
with doors on the
Like a plumber's
side.
truck,
Yeah, correct.
more or less, they use them.
Yeah, exactly. So this crane is gonna be used so that we can lift all the pumps out of our CSO facilities. This will be able to be used at the present Ave facility, Cove Street CSO pumps, and all the new pump stations that we're building will be able to pull all those pumps. The crane will be large enough to be able to handle all that work. Truck is, definitely in need down at the plant for the maintenance of all these facilities.
Now, did the bidding process of this go through the state purchasing?
Yep,
Pilots?
so this went through, the state contract is what it's called, so there's already these, Minuteman Trucks, who's the provider of this truck, goes and, every year they bid on that, they'll guarantee the lowest price to the state, so any municipalities are able to take back on that state contract price.
Good. Excuse me. Guys,
Psychiatrist.
got any questions?
So is the purchase of the new crane included
Yeah.
in
Yep,
this?
this is fully outfitted.
Winter crane.
Oh, okay, because I was looking for it, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's after the specs of the truck.
Right, so if you go
Oh,
into
here
the
it
back,
is.
the
Okay.
actual
Yeah, it's
crane
okay.
is provided by Stetco
Sprint-
Company.
Yeah, what company?
Stetco.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So they're the same ones that do the grapple for our catch
Yep.
basin
Yeah,
cleaners.
Okay.
It's the clamshell.
Yep, correct.
What are you gonna do with the old truck?
The old truck will most likely, it'll probably get the crane taken off of it due to the fact that it's out of service. That truck is a four-wheel drive and does have a plow, so we'll probably leave it for plowing some of our sites.
Okay. We got money in the budget for this?
This didn't come from the budget, this is being paid from the CSO authorization.
Okay, that's a
So
good
we
thing.
do have the budget available.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. What's the delivery on it?
So we're probably looking, I would say, 4 to 6 months.
Really, that long?
Yeah, it's extremely long, and we're just getting trucks in the water department that we ordered, it was about 6 or 7 months ago. They're just scheduled to come in now. It's amazing, I was actually just talking to a dealership, and they were telling me that Ford right now, if you order a cabin chassis from Ford, they're 46 weeks out for delivery of just the cabin chassis.
Wow.
International for the larger trucks are a year on delivery of a cabin chassis.
Wow.
So, it's
Well,
pretty good.
trucks are very popular today, that's for sure.
Correct.
Everybody drives one. Okay, so, that's good. Sounds like we'll, get some good benefit from it.
Yes.
Okay. What color is this thing gonna be? Anybody know?
Gray.
It's gonna be white.
Better be white?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought I saw gray.
They had on here for a gray on the bodies.
Oh, Florida white.
Yeah. So sewer division, we keep our trucks and vehicles stay white. That's how they've been in the past. Mostly water division, they're yellow.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Anybody have any questions about this, or comments, or
No.
anything that they wanna make a change on? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of What do we call this, a dewatering truck?
This would be the crane truck.
A crane truck to the tune of approximately $136,000. Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, that takes us to contract change order updates.
So within your packet, we provided you with two ongoing contracts that we have, the Crestbrook Drainage Project and the Middle Street Project, the summary.
We got this last month, though, didn't we?
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to keep this going
Okay.
every meeting, since there are limits underneath where we're able to approve change orders without coming to the board. I'd like to just keep the board up to date on the projects, where
Okay.
we stand, so.
Is there any new information on it? With respect to the Wright Pierce engineering bid?
Just
and all?
updated.
Yeah, just updated on the values that have been paid out.
Okay.
Additional changes, so there hasn't been any additional change orders since last month. There is a newer possible future change order with the concrete repairs on the interceptor drain, if we decide to move forward with that, but we're still waiting for pricing from the contractor.
Good. All right, that's good. Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yep, and then on Middle Street, again, you have that in your packet as well. Same thing, this, we actually changed the style of it to match the other style at the request of the board.
Good.
So, and no other expected changes in there.
No changes to the schedule in terms of completion dates and so forth?
No.
No, as of right now, one of the prior change orders did have a contract extension included within it, but that's executed since that change order. They haven't asked for any additional time extensions or anything like that, so.
Okay. Thanks, I think that's very beneficial to all of us. Anybody have any questions about it? If not, I'll move on to the next item. This takes us
Chemical
to
bid award.
the fiscal year 2020 chemical bid awards. Now, this is for the award of chemicals that are be above $50,000, correct?
Be required,
Yeah. I think, from what I can see, they appear to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
The prices came in pretty well, some were a little up, some were a little down. So the total of these contracts you're voting on and the purchase orders that we showed you at the last meeting for FY20, the total chemical budget comes up to just under $454,000. That's actually $1,000 less than last year's bid. So,
And that's the number that's been budgeted?
yes, so last year we were over budget, so I've adjusted the FY20 budget, and so we can cover that with a small amount for potential change orders. So the budget that's proposed in FY20 is actually $472,000, so it leaves us about $19,000 for change orders at the end of FY20 next year.
Just taking a look at sodium hypochlorite, which what, bleach? Terry?
Yes, that's
Bleach?
a disinfectant.
Disinfectant. Boarding Remington came in
Really good.
real cheap. Huh?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
they
good.
were cheap.
They're a local company, that's just good.
Yeah, so they got it last year, and this year's bid's about $8,000 less than last year.
Good. All right. Potassium permanganate, I always remember that one.
That's about the same as
We gotta
last
make a
year,
motion.
within a couple of $100s. And then the sodium bisulfite, the
Bless you.
chlorinating agent, went up by about almost $9,000 from last year. So some
Who had the
of
contract last year? Was it PBS also?
Yeah.
Do you remember, Terry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was? Okay. Yeah, okay, I guess this, to me, is pretty straightforward. We've already taken care of the smaller items last meeting, right?
Yeah, so for tonight, you can vote for all these three chemicals as presented in the letter, because the low bid is presented in the letter. So I want to make a motion to approve the chemical contract awards per the attached submittal.
All right, so we don't have to do these individually?
No,
They're all listed
one
individually,
listed.
and Olga will identify that in minutes.
All right, okay. Anybody want to make a motion to
Yeah.
approve the chemical contracts that's been presented?
We'll accept the motion, chemical contract as presented to the meeting.
Okay, before we go ahead and get a second on it, does
Second.
anybody have any questions
No.
about this? No? Okay, so you've seconded it, Neil?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, none? Okay, that takes us to other business. Anybody have any other business they want to bring up? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So just one thing I'd like to mention, so for community utilities, we've been working with the local high school Diamond on trying to come up with a logo for our community utilities division.
Hello?
A logo, so the city has a logo,
Sure.
we were thinking something a little bit different to be able to identify ourselves. So we had Diamond students develop different logos within their arts program. We went through and we've decided on a logo internally, so probably at the next meeting, we'll probably present that to the board.
Very
But
good.
you may see that already on some of our trucks going around, so just want to make.
Can we put that on stationery?
Yeah?
The plan is to be able to put it on letterhead, business cards.
Very
It'll
good.
be on the sides of all of the trucks, both water and sewer. So it's a community utilities logo with a
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
diagram. And then for the water underneath, for the water trucks, it'll say water division, and for sewer, it'll say sewer division. So it makes because over the years, water and sewer have been working closer and closer together, and we're under one department, and we'll identify that. And the students at Diamond did an absolutely fantastic job.
Yes.
Multiple submittals, and we'll be prepared to present that to you at the next meeting.
Yeah.
All right, that'd be
Whose
good.
idea was that?
How many vehicles do you think we're gonna have to, put this logo on?
So any new vehicles that we get, we'll definitely get the logo. Any of the vehicles that we feel that we're gonna keep for a long period of time from now, we'll most likely re-logo it, but we're probably not gonna do every single
All right, okay.
vehicle, just for cost
That
reasons.
sounds like a plan. I like that.
Yeah, you notice off the record, you notice the Herald News has dropped the city logo that they used to have in the middle of the newspaper, in the beginning, at the head.
I didn't know.
He's had will try,
Yeah, I
he took that off.
checked them out.
So is there a
Make it here.
cost associated with,
Oh, more ink?
to putting this,
Oh, no.
replacing it on the vehicles that we want to change to?
Yeah, so some of the vehicles, we have to pay for the logo to be put on. We were paying to decal the vehicles anyways, any
Right.
new vehicles. Some of the ones where we're taking them off and putting new ones on, we'll just have to purchase
Yes,
new ones.
so
to put
I
on.
expect we're not gonna go rip all of the old ones.
Right.
No, no.
Correct.
So new vehicles coming on, we'll
Mhm.
get it. If there's a damage to an old type logo that we gotta repair anyways. we'll put them in.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course.
Yeah.
I just got thought of one thing too, that I've been meaning to ask the staff. Where do we stand on the pumping station for Wilson Road? The pumping
Hathaway-
station at
Hathaway
Hathaway Commons. Is that
So-
still up in the air?
Yeah, so the agreement that we signed required for them to present as a deed. Initially, they didn't want to, they just wanted to assign an easement over to us, but we really want to need a deed. So to my understanding, they're working with their attorney there has to be a land subdivision plan approved and the deed. Once they have that deed to turn over to us, then we will take it over.
Where's this?
Okay.
Hathaway Commons up off of Wilson Road.
Private pump station.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Currently
We
private.
agreed to take over,
Yeah.
but they need to present us with the deed so we can actually own it.
And they've agreed to pay us for the changes that we
For the
need to upgrade.
improvements, Once we accept the deed and it's transferred to us, then they give us a check for the, I think it was $15,000 in change, and we make the recommended improvements in the station.
I know John did a lot of work on that.
He did,
Yes.
did a wonderful job.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any other items
Nope.
they want to talk about? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Make a motion that we adjourn?
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.